one-on-one conversation. 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comers with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs.
Now, since you're at home and you're all by yourself, you can dance and clap and sing along, and no one will judge you or make fun of you. So go ahead, have a good time, and we won't tell anybody if you're a little off beat. Let's clap. Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Artist Talk. I was none other than international recording artist, keyboardist, songwriter, producer Marvin Thompson Jr., who is our special guest tonight. But I'm so excited to be here with you. I see people coming in the room. Hey, Monica, we got Richard, we got my brother Gus, Colleen, Dr. Graham is with us tonight. Also, Chef D is in the house. Make sure you put in the comment section where you're watching from. We always want to know where people are also watching from. Don't forget to go over to K Ward Radio, which is my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Also, kwardradio.com. Subscribe to the email list as well. And if you don't do any of those things, as we always say, shame on you. So if you're ready to kick off Artist Talk, let's go ahead and start the show right now.
Live from WKRW, welcome to Artist Talk, a live one-on-one conversation with your host, the man with the golden voice, Jazzie K. Ward.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Artist Talk, Jazzie After Dark. I'm your host, Jazzie K. Ward. I hope you all had a great weekend. You know, the weekend always goes by so fast, right? And yeah, I was just like, wow, it was Friday. Had a great weekend. I was in Atlanta this weekend, had a wonderful time. Want to say again, congratulations to my Jam. If you're watching, if you go back and watch the replay, congratulations to her. We got Castella. Castella is hanging out with us. You know, she's in California. They know how to party, y'all. They know how to party in California. You got Colleen. She's watching from Kansas City. Monica is in Birmingham, Alabama. Hey, Richard Johnson. Yeah, that's right. This brother can definitely play. And if you don't know Marvin Thompson Jr., shame on you. You see that right there? Shame on you. All right. If you don't know any of these guests that appear on Artist Talk, shame on you for that. Hey, Mona. I also see people coming in the room. Thank you all so much. I'm going to go ahead and start the show just to tell you a little bit about our guest before we get started. He's out of Detroit, Michigan. He's a keyboardist. He's a songwriter. He's a producer. He's been creating music for many years. Growing up in Detroit, Michigan, he got to start playing piano in the church choir. I wonder, I'll ask him something about the church. Writing music from numerous musical short films. Marvin has released several instrumental projects, including his release In Focus on the December Sky music label, which features jazz-infused instrumentalist music. He also has a new project out we're going to talk about tonight, y'all. And you need to go get this. It's available now. Only Good Things. And this brother has been doing only good things since I first was introduced to Marvin. So don't forget to go over to marvinthompsonjr.com, which is his website. It'll be streaming here throughout the show. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome Marvin Thompson Jr. to Artist Talk. What's up, Marvin?
What's up, Jazzy K? How's it going?
It's good, my brother. It's good to see you. As we say on the show, like they say in the church, come on in the room.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. But again, me and Marvin have been knowing each other a long time, and I love his music. And I just want to say, my friend, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and have a conversation with me.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Good.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm loving the background. Is that your studio?
Yes, this is actually my basement studio, but I kind of have a little backdrop up. Well, the back section is like the kind of living den kind of area.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of cozy.
That kind of cozy. I like that. And what I see your shirt, but I'm trying to figure out what is your shirt say?
This is a Basquiat.
Okay.
The artist from New York.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that's
I can see
like his logo. Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like his work. I hope I didn't butcher his name.
That's okay.
But yeah, he has some really interesting works out of New York. Even though he died some years ago, his stuff is still kind of popular. So I think I picked up this print in Chicago, actually.
In Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, I love his stuff.
Okay. Well, again, and you know, don't forget again, everybody, Marvin Thompson Jr. is the website. And again, before we get started, how's your family? How's your family been doing?
Oh, everybody's fine. The kids are grown and gone. So it's just me and the wife. Unfortunately, the dog died about a year ago. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh yeah. So it's just empty nest for real.
Okay.
Everybody's good. So, you know, it's kind of sometimes you miss the days when you had to tote kids around.
Right.
Not really. But, you know, the days you do, then I just consider it a blessing, you know, to have a little bit more time to focus in on music and do some things that I want to get done. So yeah, everything is good in the D.
Okay. Well, that's good. In the D. So, you know, Marvin, just getting into the show. Hey, my brother Mario. Again, if you have questions for our guests, just pop them in the chat there in the comment section. I promise you we'll do our best. And if you could please share the video, share the live. And if you don't, shame on you, right? I appreciate you. Shame on you. So, Marvin, I do this segment called The Real You. So I'll just ask you some random questions.
Okay.
So our audience can get to know you a little bit better. And you don't have to be so serious. It could be something fun or
All right.
you know, just a little something. So tell me, which would you rather be, rich or famous, and why?
I would probably rather be rich. Only because fame only goes so far.
Right,
So I still want to be able to I would much rather be able to pay the bills than to have people recognize me.
right.
So
I can understand. I can relate. I like that. Thank you so much, Brad.
uh,
So, if I gave you $10,000 right now, what would you spend it on?
hmm. Well, let's see. What would I spend on? I would probably help help a few people in my family.
Oh,
But honestly, I really would, and I was just talking about this yesterday.
mhm,
I used to work in mental health
okay,
for a few years. And I was just talking about some of the places downtown Detroit where they have kind of moved out like homeless people or those with challenges. And I really want to get into, and I'm not sure how I would even
mhm,
start this, some kind of way, um, some type of affordable housing for
wow,
people with mental challenges, or physical challenges, or just people that don't have any place else to go, because it seems to be a big need. And we always talk
oh,
about
yes,
like high rise condos and stuff downtown, but
mhm,
there never really seems to be enough affordable. And when I say affordable, I mean for, I'm not talking about someone else's definition of what affordable is, but
right,
something that working people can actually afford, or people that are kind of in between jobs, or due to some of life circumstances may have taken a wrong turn. Just some kind of way
mhm.
to help those folks out as far as housing and some place to stay and just the basic necessities.
Oh, yeah. I think that's so important because a lot of times when I'm driving around and then you see so many homeless people and you,
Hmm.
you just wonder, like, why are there so many people? So there's probably some mental
Hmm.
issues there, and you wonder, like, what is the city doing? And my friends always tell me I'm a giver, right? So if
Hmm.
there's, I always keep a little change in the ashtray,
Uh-huh.
and so if it's $2, $3, 56, 70 cents, here you go.
Right. And I kind of, because when you mentioned $10,000,
Mhm,
I'm thinking, well, that's not a lot to do
mhm,
something like that. But I was telling myself, you kind of have to get out of the mindset of always thinking something takes a whole lot of money. I mean, it start with where you are. So, like you
right,
said, if all you got is a couple of bucks, then start with that, and you never know,
right.
you know, what can grow from there. So.
That's true. That's it. Every little bit helps, right?
Right, every little bit helps, and then too, you have to look at it like, I look at people in their situations, and especially when I was working in that field,
Mhm,
you never really know how close you are to some circumstance like that. Like, all it could take is a loss of a job, or
mhm,
say the death of a family member, or one thing could take you to that place sooner than you might think. Sometimes we
mhm,
look at, we kind of comfortable, and we're living what we consider our dream, but you never really know what circumstance at the drop of a dime
right,
that you might be in yourself. So I always try to put
right.
myself in that position and kind of not be so, because we can tend to be judgy sometimes.
That's true.
Well, why didn't she do this? Well, all he
Yeah,
had to do was go get a job here. So it's
right.
like sometimes
Yeah,
it's not quite as black and white as that. So.
that's true. That's true. I always heard a saying. I'm not sure who said that. It's like, we're a lot of us, or some people, we're just one paycheck from being
Hmm.
homeless.
I
Just
believe it.
so
Let that direct deposit not hit on the day we think it's supposed to hit, and you could easily be in the same situation. So,
yeah,
it's something to think about.
that's right. So there's a comment says, Chef D says, look how quickly people get on board with pay it forward at places like Starbucks.
And that's true. And I go to Starbucks religiously at least once, sometimes twice a day. And so, that's kind of true. It's like people that pay for Starbucks every day, aren't necessarily the ones that may need a helping hand, but like you said, we'll pay it forward on an $8 cup of coffee, but then we won't give the person standing outside in front $1 that
That,
actually needs it. So
that's true. Me and Dr. G talk about that all the time, especially like when it comes to like purchasing people's like your music. If you have an album out, it's say $10, or if you download a song, it's 99 cents. People just won't do that, but they'll go spend $7, $8, $10 on a cup of coffee.
yeah, they sure will. Or they'll go spend, thousands of dollars on a concert ticket for somebody, but want to complain to you about why you still charging for
Right.
CDs or why. So yeah, I guess it's all about perspective.
It is all about perspective. That's like a whole nother show. So I'm gonna have to have you back on the show.
Oh,
So
definitely. Because
so we can.
generally, and it's funny because I was just listening to Sirius today, and they were talking about a comment Charles Barkley made regarding how people with money are always the ones that are able to get it easiest. And it's kind of the same concept. People that are paying for Starbucks don't necessarily need money, but
Mhm.
they get free coffee. But then we don't want to give somebody that really needs it a helping hand. So it's kind of weird how our brain thinks. We'll
Right.
give to those that we don't think are really in need.
In need. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And I always wonder to myself, I have such a giving heart, and I know I'm going off my script, y'all, but that's okay. But I wonder if I had a whole lot of money, I probably would give so much of it away.
Hmm.
That's just my heart,
Yeah.
to always trying to help someone. And then I'm one particular, I used to go to Starbucks every day.
Hmm.
And then I realized some of the same stuff I have at home.
This is true.
I have the same stuff at home because the only thing I get from Starbucks, y'all, is a green tea frappuccino. I just really want the green tea matcha powder,
Okay.
some coconut milk, some whey protein, and a banana. I
Uh-huh.
have all that at home.
So you can make, and that's because people always tell me, it was like, well, why don't you just make? I said, well, I try to make it at home, but I can never really get it
Right.
just right. So sometimes it's a little easier just to pay somebody to do it the right way.
That's
But
true.
I feel, but you think about how much you could save, or what
It
else you could do, where else you could redirect just those few little dollars, and
is.
it's something to think about.
It is. And so going into my last one, so we were talking about mental health. I wasn't going to really ask this question. And so we were talking about mental health. And, when we think about music, Marvin, and even yourself, and as busy as you are, my question is, what are the parts of yourself that you protect the most?
The parts that I protect,
Yeah. What parts of you do you protect? Because mind, body, and soul. We're so busy in life. So what do you do to protect you, to Marvin? Do is it a workout for you? Is it yoga? Is it something you may do?
it has been um, it has been yoga. Pre-pandemic, I was into yoga. Once the pandemic hit, the place I normally go kind of shut down, and I never really got into doing that home. But I want to get back into yoga. But then I've started back trying to work out again.
Right.
Uh, getting into the gym. So that's kind of relaxing for me because
Okay.
it's something I can do where I don't really have to think about too much, or I can just
Yeah.
think to myself and not really have to engage too much with. I'm not really a very naturally social person
Okay.
anyway. So places where I can go, like to the gym, where I don't really have to socialize,
Right.
and I guess to some extent yoga too. Um, Maybe that's why I lean more towards those places because I'm not in a situation where I
Mhm.
have to have a lot of conversation.
Conversation. You just put your earplugs in
Right,
and
and just keep moving.
and
And
just keep
that
moving.
sounds very bad, but I'm really a friendly person, but I'm just not naturally a conversationalist when it comes
Conversation.
to
Okay.
being out.
All right. I understand it. Well, that was my segment of the real you. That wasn't too bad, was it?
Oh no, that was cool.
That was cool again. So I see people coming more in the room. Hey, my friend Whittington Steele. If you don't know Whittington Steele, shame on you. I See You. I See You with it. That's the title of her new song, but it's a little
All
joke.
right.
I see you. So our special guest tonight is international recording artist Marvin Thompson Jr. He's a keyboardist, he's a songwriter, he's a producer. He has that it factor. And so, Marvin, as you know, we start the show and we talk about music, we talk about jazz, we talk about soul, and all of that. Tell us, why do you think people should care about jazz music?
I think they should care about jazz because I think there's a lot of depth to it. Um, that that a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but some people aren't really hip to. And I think there's a lot of cool and varied elements to it that people don't really associate with jazz. Like I think sometimes when people think of jazz, they just always think of Louis Armstrong,
Mm-hmm.
1950s, and that's pretty much it. But jazz kind of covers the gamut, and a lot of what we like as far as popular music has has come from jazz or some you know some
Mm-hmm.
version thereof. So I think it's not the stuffy old people's music um, that a lot of people have associated it with being. I think there's a lot of different elements. There's so many different
Mm-hmm.
artists and so many different styles within jazz. I
Right.
think it's just something for everybody. Just like there's a lot of different styles of hip hop or R&B. It's the same way with jazz. So jazz is not
Right.
it's not one dimensional.
That's right. I do, and I know you started off also in the church,
Hmm.
and so you think about gospel music, you hear a little jazz and in
Oh
the
yeah.
gospel music. So tell us, did you play instruments in the church too?
Yes, well, actually, I started playing. How I actually first started playing, I was 9 years old, and so what happened was, my father took us to see the Wiz. So when I got home, we had this little mini keyboard that my mother used to play like nursery rhymes on us for.
Wow.
So I took that and I just kept, for some reason, the song "Ease on Down the Road" was just like that song just stuck with me. I just kept hearing that dun 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 dun. So I was determined I was going to learn how to play that line. Now, I had never really ever tried to play anything before, but I just wanted to sit down at that piano and just kept pecking around until I figured out that line. So from there, I would just listen to different things and start trying to peck them out on that keyboard, just line by line. So once I started playing it, so we were already in church, so I would just come home and songs I would hear or they would sing at church. I would just try to take, my one little finger, peck those songs out one by one, and eventually, right, and that's kind of how it started. So a
Wow.
few years had passed, and the organist at church had found out I had been practicing, so he was
Mhm.
determined to try to make me play in church, and I would go like hide in the church basement because I was afraid. I didn't want to be up in front of people, but eventually, I just kept practicing, and got more comfortable. And, from there, people started asking me to play at I was like 15 years old.
Wow.
People were asking me to play at other churches. Now, I was telling people yes, and I wasn't driving or didn't even have a car. So I would have to come home and tell my mother, you know, such and such asked me to play at this church concert. Can you drive drive me over? So this was the days, of course, before cell phones and all that kind of stuff. So we were
Right.
trying to figure out what church was where. And I mean, I was just all over the place saying yes to people because I just enjoyed, once I got the love for it, I just enjoyed playing. I just, never
Oh,
stopped from there.
okay.
So yeah, my taste is very varied because, like I said, I grew up playing in the church. Then, when I got into playing in school, of course, I got more into jazz,
Mhm.
and I just always listened to a little bit of everything. I would,
Okay.
when I was a teenager, with my little Sony Walkman, I would ride around on
Oh,
my bike,
wow.
listening to Prince and Michael Jackson and
Right.
whatever the latest, Rick James tune was. So I just have always just found something in everything.
I love that.
Every type of music, I can find something that I enjoy and just hear elements that I'll try to place in different things that I do and see how I can, mix it up a little.
I love it. I was going to put you on the spot too, Marvin, when you were talking about 9 years old. Do you think you could? Do you still remember how to play that instrumental? That part of the Wiz? That. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I probably
Well, I was trying to get you. I wanted to hear a little bit of it if you could.
Let me see. Something like that.
Love it.
Haven't played that. I don't think I've ever played that.
Really, I love.
Because I never really had a reason to. I just played it at home, but I never really. I think maybe for a talent show or something, somebody sang it
Really,
long
okay.
time ago.
I love that. Yeah, when you mentioned that, it made me think about that song. I always like that intro when they first start off with that production. That dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
I would listen to that soundtrack to this day. Like, and
Right.
I don't know if it's because that was like my first thing into really wanting to play, but that Wiz soundtrack to me is one of the baddest pieces of music,
Wow.
from Quincy Jones. I mean, because it
Wow.
was just so creative and kind of out of the box at the time.
I know. I think Quincy Jones such a genius, right? For somebody to put on the production and the music and the choreography that they
Yeah.
did.
I mean, it was really, and it's so funny to read now how, it really wasn't that big of a deal at the box office and people kind of, panned it. But I'm thinking like that was one of the best things of my childhood. And I guess it's all about, again, about perspective, because from a
Hmm.
African American kid,
Right.
black kid from the west side of Detroit, to see a production like that of a movie that I've always loved, like the
Hmm.
Wizard of Oz, and then to see it with all black faces, and you got like
Hmm.
Michael Jackson and Diana
Hmm.
Ross and all these people
Wow.
in it. I mean, it really brought it to life, and it kind of brings it full circle,
Hmm.
because I kind of see now why you have the young people really excited about what is it? Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah.
With Halle Bailey, is because it's
Hmm.
it's kind of like kids need to see themselves, and you can say all day long, well, we already have this, so why do we need another? But when you see and hear yourself in a certain thing, it makes you believe that that's something you can, that there's something you can actually strive for. And as much as I love the Wizard of Oz, I never saw myself in it or heard my style of music in it, even though I love the music. But when I
Hmm.
saw the Wiz, it's like, oh man, this is funky,
It's
and
fun.
it's the story of the Wiz. Okay, so
I know. And I know you're in productions, you're in plays, and maybe Marvin Thompson Jr. Maybe you can redo the Wiz or something similar to
ooh,
that.
I don't know if I would even touch. Actually, there's a young lady, uh, a black African American, I'm sorry, black director, Broadway director, who's
Mm.
actually doing a revival of The Wiz, and I think it's supposed
Wow.
to happen in maybe 24. But I was listening to a podcast with her, and she's actually doing the casting now.
Wow.
And so yeah, that'll be kind of interesting to see how she
Mhm.
recasts, because I think it's been a while since the Broadway version has
Yeah.
actually been staged. So yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
That would be very interesting. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody. I see people coming in the room. Again, we're talking with our special guest tonight, keyboardist, songwriter, producer Marvin Thompson Jr. Make sure you go over to marvinthompsonjr.com is the website. He has a new project out. We're going to talk about his new CD, Only Good Things. It's available now wherever music is sold, wherever music is streaming. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Marvin is going to play a little something for us, a little surprise. And we're also going to have Dr. G is in the house, and she is in the green room. She is sipping wine and cheese and all that stuff I said to y'all. So stay tuned. I'm Jazzy K. Ward, your host for Artist Talk. We'll be right back.
Peace and love to you. My name is Salome Poole, singer, songwriter, and producer, coming to you from the Motor City. Have you watched Artist Talk with Jazzy K. Ward? Well, you can join Jazzy every Monday night on Facebook Live and YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you don't, shame on you.
Thank you so much, Salam Pool. I meant to ask you, Marvin, do you know Salam?
You know what? When I heard her name, the name sounds very familiar, and I don't know if I work with her, but I certainly
Mhm.
have heard her name before, right? And then when she said her name, and then she was from Detroit, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I think I do. I'm familiar with some people
Okay.
that may work with her. So yeah, that's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
cool.
Yeah, that's my good buddy.
Okay.
We need to connect y'all together.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we need to do that. So, hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Jazzy K. Ward. Welcome to Artist Talk. Again, our special guest tonight is recording artist Marvin Thompson Jr. And hey, Sugar Rainbow. So, Marvin, you're going to play a little something for us, right?
Yes, I will.
So, what are you going to play for us?
So I'm gonna play it's actually the title song from the new project, Only Good Things. Um
Okay.
I'll do a piano version of it. But
Okay.
I just kind of like the melody kind of came to me. So
Okay.
uh
So before you get started, tell us the new CD, Only Good Things. And y'all, I've been following Marvin a long time. And go back and get all his CDs. They're absolutely amazing. But why the title, Only Good Things?
well, after coming through what we've kind of been going through the last couple of years, um you know, you sometimes get a place where you focus so much on the n- the negative, but then the things that you just have to do that may not be so pleasant.
Right.
And some days you just say, you know, I'm not going to tune in today because I can't listen to another day of bad news,
Right.
political issues, racial issues, and it's all stuff that we have to deal with and you have to confront. And on top of that, you got to worry about your job, you know,
Right.
your house, everything else. So sometimes it's okay, and I have to tell myself this because I'll be so like strung up on all kind of things and trying to work to make this happen and trying to figure this out. And sometimes you just have to say, okay, today I'm only going to worry about good things, only going to focus on things that are going to make me happy, and
Right.
even sometimes things that are just silly that may not be that serious, because sometimes you just have to release and unplug a little bit and not be so much on the grind. Because I think, you know, a lot of our culture, you know, we kind of got this working 24 hours and we
Right.
always hustling, which is true. But then you don't want to do that to the point where, you know, you laid up in a box somewhere
Right.
sooner than you need to be because you were hustling and grinding. And it's like,
That's
okay,
right.
I'm about that money and this and that. But yeah, but if you're not here to enjoy it, or you give yourself a stroke stressing out about
Right.
things that don't matter, then it's not really going to serve a purpose anyway. So,
Right.
so hence that's kind of where the title come from. Only good things. Sometimes you just gotta lay
I
back
like
and
that.
just let it happen.
That is so important, mind, body, and soul, taking care of yourself.
Mhm.
I believe every day, I always tell people, you should be able to laugh, even though I
Mhm.
know every day is not always like that. I try to find something I laugh about. I have to think about something.
Right.
Oh, but it's good for your body. I don't know. Just think about
Yeah.
something. And I love the title of that CD.
Mhm.
Only Good Things. Again, everybody, MarvinThompsonJr.com. Go get the CD. And so, Marvin, take it away.
All right. Thanks.
I love it. Absolutely beautiful. That was Only Good Things, y'all. Marvin Thompson Jr.com is the website. I have so many questions I want to ask Marvin about the CD, some songs, and we're going to have some other music from Marvin, but make sure you go over to his website. Marvin, we're going to go over to Dr. G, Mind, Body, and Soul segment, and we're going to have a little bit more conversation with you, my brother, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. Here we go, Dr. G.
It's time for Health and Wellness Check-In with Dr. Chantel Graham. Tips for the mind, body, and soul.
Everybody, is it the one and the only, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Chantel Graham? Dr. G.
I was playing the piano in the back. You know, I was in my little mojo. Okay.
Well, I thought it was the perfect title, Only Good Things, and that's what you give us each and every Monday.
You see my shirt? You see my shirt?
I see that. I love it.
Shame on you. Well, what's going on with it? So, we talked about this before, and everybody knows that month is Mental Health and Wellness Month. And I don't like these whole month things. And I'm going to tell you why I don't like these month things. Because people deal with mental health every day. It's not just a thing that happens in May or happens today or tomorrow. It's something people deal with every day. And we have those different types of mental health and wellness we talk about. People used to say, oh, she had a nervous breakdown. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? And I think people sometimes use interchangeably meltdowns and nervous breakdowns. Understand what a meltdown is. A meltdown is just an episode that happens. It's short-lived. You bounce back and you kind of go about your day. When you have a breakdown, it's something that's just a matter of buildup of anxiety and stress that has been over a long period of time. So when you have that mental breakdown, you got to, and I tell people all the time, it's okay not to be okay, but what's not okay is not getting help. Today is a hard day for me. Today is the 3rd anniversary of my brother's death. But am I walking around with my head down? I can't, because he's gone, So you got to kind of just get it together, people. And we hear those different signs, those different kind of health depressions. Oh, well, she has clinical depression. Well, first of all, who diagnosed you? So let's just talk about getting properly diagnosed. So depression just deals with that constant sadness, that worry feeling, that need of feeling like I'm just always down, 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 down. Then you have the other side of that, which is anxiety. You always feel up. You're not sleeping. Your eating habits are changing. You feel like you're always on the go. And then you got something that's like a combination of the two, which is, I like to say, bipolar. Because some days you can feel super, super high. Some days you can feel super, super low. And having a bad day does not define you as having a mental health issue.
Right.
Some days it's just raining outside. I don't feel like being outside. I feel down. That's not mental disease. That's just you having a day. You have an episode. But if you're having those days so close together and it's back to back and it's all the time, just go get help. And the one thing that we always neglect are those strong friends. We don't check on those strong friends. Oh, she all right. She's always on the go. She's always doing this. Right. They having hard times too. Okay. So I just think we have to be conscious of what those things look like. People are losing their appetite. They're disconnecting. They're not wanting to be bothered. Now, I know how I am. Some days I don't want to be bothered.
Right. We all do that, right?
That's just about every other day, depending on certain people. But I'm just saying. No, I'm not depressed. I just don't want to be bothered, But right. Then you actually just start to withdraw, and you notice that their eating habits are changing, or check on your friends, give them a call, shoot them a text, and we all should just wear green the rest of this month just for that health and wellness and mental. But just do what you got to do for your people, and more importantly, do it for yourself.
That's important.
Because we get so involved in helping everybody else and stand on the go. And then once you sit down, it comes down on you. So take your day, get your toes done, do your toes yourself. I'm not going to do it because I don't like feet, but I'm just saying.
I understand. And read a book.
Read and speaking about books. Oh,
right.
Oh, shade. Yes. That's a quick read. Get you in there. She got the 4 brothers. She get rid of all of. See, it helps you bounce right back too, But read a book. Listen to that great music, because like that music we just had from my guy right there, Marvin. I was ready to put on my little brown liquor. I don't even drink brown liquor, but I felt like I should have a cup and shake it in my hand and just learn to just breathe. Sometimes you gotta walk away. Sometimes you have to stop. I know we like to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And there's days that you have to do that, but then there's days about you doing self-care and self-love. Do it and be proactive, active and proactive, and prevent from going off the deep end. So the app life, you see my email there, sign up, join in. I'm going to start doing some boot camps for a group setting, because sometimes we got to realize that it's not just us going through it either.
Oh, right.
You think it's just you, but it's a lot of people. JAZZIE, you always happy, but you got stuff going on too. You know, we always laugh. Listen, I'm making my business to laugh every day, all the time. Doesn't mean I don't have any problems, but it's like life is just short. You know,
it is. It is. When you mentioned that, my director always asks me, she said, you bring so much positive energy to me. She said, are you always this happy? I said, well, probably like 98% of the time.
No, what she trying to ask you is, you want them drugs.
She's trying to ask me about drugs. I said, well, trust me, I have things going on in my life, but I choose to deal with them separately from coming to work. So, but people that really know me, they're like, no, something's wrong.
Yeah, you can tell when someone like, he lied himself today. And it's okay. Some days you just have that mood, but you got to be able to face that, and you got to be able to deal with that. Not getting help is the worst part. And you may think that no one understands what you're going through, but I can promise you that what people are going through and what you're going through, it has happened to other people. We just have to deal with it as best as we can. Get some help. Get some help. Because, you know, us Christian folks, if you pray on it and give it to Jesus, it's going to go away. But remember, too, all us Christians, God made therapists for a reason, too.
That's right, Dr. G.
Okay.
That's important. And that's why we need you in the OR to add Marvin Thompson Jr. in rotation.
Listen, I'm about to go play this when I get off the phone with y'all. That's some good meditation music before I go to bed tonight. I'm playing that.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, he has other projects like Kind Words and In Focus and some other CDs.
And you know, we play it all the time. Y'all spending money on Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts and Chick-fil-A and this and that. And once you eat that, it goes out. It ain't coming back. Well, you don't want it back.
Right.
At least with the music, you get to play it over and over. You play it in your car, in your house, at your job, in the back. Invest in your people. Buy some music. Download. Stop being so cheap.
That's true. And let them know, Dr. G, how can they find you? What's the best way to find you?
Right here on Artist Talk every Monday. Shameless plug at 7 p.m.
I love it.
Or on my website, theapplife.info, or my email address, drgraham@theapplife.info. We got some great things coming up. The podcast is going to be, out soon. We just going to combine the App Life and Win the nonprofit. So, it's going to be the App Life for the win.
All right. And so we're going to do a segment. We're going to do a segment on here about that. But, we're going to talk about that. So that's coming soon. Dr. G knows, and Chef D knows, and all that. So Dr. G, can you stick around?
I'm here for it. Oh, I'm ready to play some more music. I got my mic,
I know. Just get with Marvin. Maybe you can do some kind of little humming or something in the background.
I'm a songbird for the Lord. In the shower with the music blasting. I sound great then.
I love it, Dr. G. Well, stick around, okay?
Okay, I'm here. I'm here for it.
All right.
Take care of yourselves, guys. Take care of yourselves.
That's right. Thanks so much, Dr. G. Hey, everybody, I'm JAZZIE K. Ward, your host for Artist Talk. Our special guest tonight is keyboardist, songwriter, producer Marvin Thompson Jr. out of Detroit, Michigan. Make sure you follow him. His website is marvinthompsonjr.com. His new CD is Only Good Things, and that's what this brother does. He definitely has an it factor. So let's bring our special guest back into the room. Back into the room. Hey, what's up, Mark?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, my brother? So, hey, people, Sheila says she just listened to Kind Words today.
Oh, cool.
I love that.
Well, thank you.
She said she listened to. I'm telling you, Kind Words, In Focus. Now, you just played only Good Things. And this, your new project was just released in April of this year, right?
Right. Just a few weeks ago, yeah.
Just a few weeks ago. So, like, you have other songs on there, like In Person, Better From Here, Thankful For. So what's different in this project? This project particular, maybe in some of your past work, like Kind Words or In Focus CD?
I think it's kind of Similar, but a little bit different. I think my perspective of each project is always a little different of what I want to say through the music. Um, Even though it all kind of still has my voice, so to speak. So, but I think, yeah, I think, with just what I think I want to say, like this one, I was kind of focused on just a little bit more upbeat and a little bit more positive. Not that it's never not positive, but just uh approaching it from a uh positive kind of
Yeah.
happy perspective. And so hopefully that translates translates through the music. Although I think most of my projects I try
Mhm.
to have, I never want to do like depressing or downtrodden music. Um, but I do like to kind of keep it a little light.
All right. I remember when I first heard you. I think was it the song Eleanor Rigby?
Oh yeah, and I did, yeah, the Beatles remake, yeah.
Oh my God! If you all have not heard his rendition of that song, please go check out Eleanor
Oh
Rigby.
wow.
Please go and check that out. I still play that today.
Oh really?
I still play that song today. Hey, Edward. He said, me and Marty go back like bucket seats, YAC workshop project. The bro is a musical genius.
Oh wow.
That's from Mr. Edward Armstead III.
Oh yeah, yeah. What's up, Mr. Edward Armstead the third? Yeah, we do go way back.
Did you always know that music would be your career path, Mark?
Um, I always wanted it to be.
Mhm.
I never, you know, I wasn't really sure if it was gonna, actually pan out that way.
Right.
Um, but I mean, it did kind of pan out that way. Not quite the way I thought it would. When you're a kid, you kind of think of being in the music business as just doing a lot of concerts and
Mhm.
hanging out late at night and ride from city to city. So it was some of that, but more recently, or once I
Mhm.
kind of settled into it, is when I got more into teaching music,
Okay.
because I teach, at community college, teach
Right.
music. I do different workshops. I got into doing music for theater and plays and that type of thing.
Right.
So I think with any career path, you may have kind of a tunnel vision of what you see it to be, but once you get out and once you get a few years behind you and some experience, you kind of start to see there are a lot of different directions that field can take you that maybe you didn't initially think of, or you didn't quite see it being this, but
Yeah.
it actually ended up still being this, but with that added on to it. So I think a lot of younger people, like I talk to so many young kids or students, and you ask them what they want to be and they say
Mhm.
a rapper, and
Mhm.
it's like, well, there are a lot of things that entail being a rapper, and there are a lot of different things you can do in the music business
Right.
that don't involve rapping, because I
Right.
mean everybody's not going to be the next greatest rapper. So but there are other things you can do. You can get into, like, I've have so many students that I work with that have told me that they've gotten into like the production end and
Yeah.
mixing the music. And so there are a lot of different things you can do, and a lot of times the things that make a lot more money aren't the things that have you on the stage. So
That's
that's
right.
the kind of thing you may want to consider, a lot of technical aspects of music and just entertainment in general.
I,
um,
I like that. So there's a question for it. I know you speak a lot about it and inspiring others, and Chef D wants to know who inspires you.
oh, let's see, I have a lot of musical inspiration. I've always liked, Joe Sample was always one of my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
keyboard players. I mean, I just would like just listen to his stuff
Hmm.
religiously. And then there's so many gospel greats like Thomas Whitfield. I was always
Wow.
drawn to just people that were kind of unique, or the music was unique. And I didn't really know how to describe what it was, but it was just something about it that was different. Thomas Whitfield was probably my biggest gospel influence.
Okay.
and I actually, had the opportunity to work with him years ago when I was a teenager,
Mhm.
and just some of chord progressions and just things
Wow.
that just were out of this world. Um, I mean, just so I can find, like I was saying earlier, I can find musical influence and inspiration in just about anybody. A lot of the
Mm.
Beatles' old work. Um, I'm a big fan of Sting.
Okay.
Um, Ella Fitzgerald is
Mhm.
somebody of our Cole Porter.
Right.
Um, I mean, just of course Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
My I think one of my all-time biggest influences has to be Stevie Wonder.
Oh, wow. I
Just
can hear that in your music too.
I
I
mean,
hear
it's just so many. It's just so many people I just listen to and just can learn so much from. So I just
that.
tell people just to listen to a lot of different things and don't lock yourself, pigeonhole yourself into
Right.
one thing that you may think think you like. There are tons of stuff out there. I'm also a big fan of. I've been listening to a lot of Coldplay the last couple of
Oh, yeah.
days. So just good songwriting and good music and good production. I think is
Yeah. I think
just
that
kind of my thing.
I think that's important. I was going to ask you, what's your take? What's your thoughts on like the music industry today? Maybe from when you started too.
I think it's still pretty great. I mean, I think with the invention of do it yourself and a lot of artists coming from home and different places, I think it's opened up. Um, it's kind of opened things up to where we kind of have access to a lot more talent, and artists that we may have never heard
Mhm.
from, if not be it for producing music themselves.
Right.
The flip side of that is it's opened things up to a lot of people that we may have never heard of.
That's
So
true.
sometimes, you get a lot in, so it kind of causes you to have to sift through some things a little bit
Mm,
more. But I think it's still pretty relevant, and I still think it's as vast as it is as far as uh, independent artists, which I'm a big fan of because I'm an independent artist.
right.
So I think it gives opportunity for people that may have never heard your music. I was talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about the difference between the days of selling CDs at events and now where everything is pretty much streaming and people don't really purchase CDs like
Mhm.
they used to. And I said, well, the downside is for independent artists, you don't take home as much money from merchandise sales and direct sales as you would when you were selling CDs. I said, but the flip side is you have people now that would have never heard your music because they probably would have
Right.
never come to one of your shows that may be in another country somewhere that has access to stream your music that would have never heard of you. So I think it's a give and take on both the ends, but I think it can be a plus. We have the internet, social media. So I
Right.
think people have access to things a lot faster. And
Right.
so it only takes a second for somebody to hear something you've done and really like it. And you
Right.
blow up from there. So I think it's a give and take on both sides. But I think, it's still
Mhm.
pretty relevant. And as long as people keep making quality music, I
Right.
think we'll be okay.
Yeah, and I think that's important what you mentioned. I mean, social media, you have YouTube, Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, all these different avenues of social media outlets. And so there's
Right.
a question from Ultimate Entertainment. He said, "Who would you like to work with or collaborate with if you had a chance?"
Oh, there are so many people. But as far as there are a lot of singers that I like, but one singer I would love to work with is Layla Hathaway,
Oh, wow. Of course. Ooh, my
and we
angel.
actually know some of the same people, so
Okay.
may not be too
I could.
may not be too out of the realm of possibilities.
Oh, wait, nothing is impossible, right?
Oh, never.
Never.
I never say
Only
never.
good things. Only
Yeah.
good things, my brother. And when I always hear your music, when I'm watching a lot of like TV shows, and I'm
Mhm.
like, wow. When I hear your music, I say, how you see scenes and people walk in a club or they walk in
Mhm.
a bar. I said, Marvin and so many other artists that have been featured on this show. I was like, I can hear their music being played on some of these shows. And I was going to tell you, you should submit some of your music to some of these new TV shows. I think you should do that because I know you were featured in a couple shows. If you could tell us real quick about the Detroit Performs, is that a show you were a
Oh
part
yeah,
of?
that's a show here in Detroit where they feature artists from Detroit. So excuse me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did. I was on there a few years back, and so that was a great opportunity. But yeah, film and TV has always been, really a lot of what I enjoy musically because it's so, I can kind of be technical and it's really, really specific. And so I love doing that kind of work. I've done a few independent films.
Mhm.
And it's funny that you mentioned that about speaking things because there was a project I put out in 2020 that I really didn't do a lot of speaking about. It's on streaming platforms, but it's a project called When They Call.
Right.
And what the concept behind that was, um, I just wanted to put out some like snippets of music, um, and have the idea of it being for, say, TV shows or a movie. And my sister was saying, where did you get that time? I said, well, the idea was to be ready when they call to have
Right.
some of this music available. And it's so funny because while I was in the process of releasing the project, a friend of mine was in a movie with the director, and she said the director was looking for some music for the film. And she said you should really send her some of your stuff. So I actually sent her on a demo reel some of the stuff that was going to be on that project. So about 3 of those songs on the project were actually picked up
Wow.
for the movie even before the project had actually been released. So sometimes, that kind of taught me stop trying to think things through all the way to the end and just think it through to the point where you're at, and you never
Right.
know what could come from that,
Yeah.
down the line. So that was a pretty good opportunity. So yeah, I really enjoy, and I do plan to get a little bit more into film and TV work because that's what I really really enjoy that.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Everybody, again, Marvin Thompson Jr., his new project, Only Good Things, is available now. And I'm going to have to ask you, Mark, so do you have physical copies or do they need to just download this out?
They can download it, but what happened was when I announced that I was putting this project out, I had some of people that follow me reach out to me and say, I'm not really into downloading,
Right.
and I'm still old school. So if there's any way you can get a CD, let me know. So I thought about it. I said, you know what? If people actually
Yeah.
want still want a CD, I have no problem. So I do actually have physical CDs available for those that still want to have something in their hand because I totally get it.
I like that.
Um, if you like a physical copy, I'm not sure if the store on my website if you can actually purchase them, but you can always send me a message on my website and I can make sure I get it to you if you still want a physical. If you like a physical CD, I would be glad to get
Yeah.
that out to you.
I love it. See, I'm old school. I like
Right.
physical copies in my hand. So people always, it's like, I want to, there's the
Oh,
website.
okay. There it is. Yeah.
And I see, Marvin, I like to read.
See, me
Like,
too.
I like to read. I want to see whoever the producer, the writer, whoever. I like to read because I think
Yeah.
those people are important as well.
And
And
when
I
you
like
think
to do
about
something.
right, and when you think about streaming, now it's like, how do you even find out that information anymore? Like I used to take albums when that was a thing, and then CDs and open them up and read who did what on every single song. Because, like you said, but now even on streaming, I haven't seen where those liner notes are even still
Oh,
accessible to where I would think they would still kind of have that digitally
mhm,
available if you
right,
wanted to see. Because like you say, now you don't really know who did what. But
right.
maybe we can bring that back.
Yeah. And I always say, I think it's what you don't want to forget the other people. The artist itself is also so important, but the people behind the scenes,
Right.
even other members that you
Exactly.
typically don't know about. Those
Yeah.
people are so important. And to take the time, I always wonder who is the person actually typing
Right.
All of that information.
They taking everybody's. Well, I know back in the day, what made it easier was if you just did it like as you recorded each song. So that way
Right.
it's not that much at the end to try to say, okay, well, who played on track number 5? And do you remember who played the drums on this? So, we tried to take everybody's information from the beginning. That way we can kind of keep it lined up. But yeah, I kind of miss those days
I know.
of seeing who did what.
That's true. That's true. So, Marv, tell us before we let you, what's next for Marvin Thompson Jr.? I know the CD is out. What? Anything else coming up for you? Where can we see you perform live? When you coming to Alabama? When you going on a tour? We need to know all that.
Oh, I would love to come to Alabama. I'm working on a few dates now, but for possibly this summer.
Okay.
So I definitely want to do that. So I'll have to, and I generally post everything on my website. But yeah, I would love to do. I think I'm planning to do like a little small tour
Okay.
of some smaller, jazz venues to kind of get the word out there. I'm also kind of already have thoughts in mind for what my next project is going to be. So just more music,
Okay.
more music,
Come on.
more music.
Are you always looking for vocalists and other people play? Because we always have some amazing artists that are featured here. They're always looking for collaborations. Are you open to collaborating also
Yes,
with?
I am. In fact, I think I had on my list for this year to actually do, at least 2 collaborations this year, even if it's just to do some, recording and release a couple of singles or something. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm definitely open to that. So I know you always have
Yeah.
all the talent on here. And I think too, it helps when, especially independent artists, if we kind of network and work together
That's
to
right.
kind of find each other, because it helps each of us if we all get out there and kind of do our thing.
Yeah. So Ultimate Entertainment. So I see an Alabama Ultimate Entertainment. You definitely need to know him as well, Marvin.
Okay, cool.
He's an amazing host. He has also uh, a jazz show as well. He's based in St. Louis, so make sure you
Okay.
all connect. You
Yes,
have
definitely.
Sugar Rainbow is also with it, and still, and of course, I don't know if you know Costella. She's in California,
Stella.
and you also need to connect with all these
We
artists,
will.
Costello, Whittington, and so you all hit each other up, and I think that would be a great collaboration. Uh,
Yes, let's do that. That would be cool.
yeah, all of you all are cool. My brother, time always flies. I think when you and I talk, it's just not enough time, right?
Right, because
And
I think we let too much time go in between the times we actually chit chat. So
right. So that means you must come back on Artist Talk.
yes, definitely, I will certainly.
Please come back on Artist and let people
Anytime.
know what's the best way to find you on like social media.
So the best way to find me, I'm sad to say I'm not as
I
up
know.
on social media as often as I should be. But check me out on Instagram. Um, Instagram and Twitter is the same. M Thompson Jr.
Okay.
So that's my Instagram and Twitter. Facebook, I don't check as much, but definitely shoot me a message. I've been told I leave messages in Messenger for years at a time. Now I don't think that's true, but if you send me a message on Facebook Messenger, I'll get back with you. So please, all of your other artists that would like to connect, I would love to connect and we can kind of work on some stuff together. So please send me your info and we'll definitely be in touch. But yeah, M Thompson Jr. On Instagram
I love that,
and
my
Twitter.
brother. I love that. And yeah, but before you go, any words of wisdom you can leave with us? Someone following this and they want to follow in your footsteps. Any advice you can give them?
Oh, I would just say don't whatever you do, and I know this is so cliche, but just don't give up because um and that's easy to say, but there are days when because I've had some days when I say, maybe I should just find something else to do, or, when things don't go quite the way you think they ought to. But just keep working at it. And, whatever you do, you may not understand the whole picture or see the whole blueprint at one time, but just work on it piece by piece and just keep going, and you'll eventually get there. And that's if it's be it in music or whatever your field is.
Right.
Just keep going. Every day God grants you is another day to keep trying. And like Dr. G was saying, some days you may not feel like it. Some days you may not. Okay, I'm just gonna lay up and watch TV today. That's okay too. Don't always feel like you got to be doing something, but just work on your stuff piece by piece, and don't give up.
And only good things. You see that they had that title.
See how it's tied together.
That's tied together, right, my brother? So Marvin's new project is Only Good Things. It's available now. Hey, if you want that physical copy, I'm sure he'll autograph it. He'll sign it for you.
I will sign it. Whatever you want. I'll put my fingerprint on it. Whatever.
That's right. And I always tell people, share music. If you buy one, get two. Share it with a friend. Be somebody that may not, independent artists. There's so many artists out here, right? And it's all about sharing. It's all about support. It's a great gift. Music is a great gift to give somebody. It's healing. That's what music does. It's healing. You never know how impactful it may be in someone's life. And I'm telling you, when you hear Marvin's music, you won't be disappointed. So again, my brother, as always, it's a pleasure, Marvin.
Yes, as always, sir.
Continued blessings to you. Anything I can continue to do, you always have my support. But can you stick around?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody. Another great show, another great conversation. Our special guest, Marvin Thompson Jr. MarvinThompsonJr.com is the website. Don't forget K Ward Radio is my YouTube channel. KWardRadio.com is the website. Any artist that would like to be featured on the show, if you'd like to mail me your information or project, my information is there. If you would like to support the show, all of that information is located there too. Hey, my friend Ron. Join me each and every Saturday on 90.7 WVAS, Alabama State University. And I'm going to leave you again in the good hands of Mr. Marvin Thompson Jr. Check out this amazing performance. Have a great rest of the week. Make sure you take care of yourself and always be kind to others. See you next time.
Artist Talk. It's the JAZZIE K Award coming at ya.